Chapter 4176. Yi Yu and the others couldn't control him at all. Instead, Yi Yu and the others suffered a great loss. However, they were naturally on Yi Yu's side. "All right, I understand everything now," one of the burly heavenly human tribes said, full of pressure. This burly man's cultivation was unfathomable. Although he wasn't a divine master, he was probably a peak divine emperor. His eyes were like two bolts of lightning, sweeping towards Lu Ming. "Mu Yun, you are too bold. You have to know your place. First, you talk back to them. Then you tried to kill them. You even fought with them for the treasures inside. You are guilty of the most heinous crimes. Now, I sentence you to death." The burly heavenly human tribe man's cold voice sounded. Lu Ming's face became completely gloomy. It seemed that these heavenly human tribe experts were completely on Yi Yu's side. Ah, what a joke. Is this the heavenly human tribe? Suppressing me with a groundless crime. I'm not convinced. If this gets out, all the tribes in the universe will not be convinced. Don't even think about convincing the masses, Lu Ming shouted. At this time, you still want to sow discord. Adding to your crimes, I'll send you on your way, the middle-aged heavenly human tribe man said. He took a step forward, and an earth-shattering aura pressed towards Lu Ming. Strong, too strong. Although Lu Ming's combat strength had skyrocketed recently, he was like an ant facing a giant dragon. He couldn't resist at all and would be easily killed. The gap was too big. This person was definitely a peak divine emperor. Such a gap was impossible to surpass even the most heaven-defying figure. Under the pressure of this aura, Lu Ming's body shook violently, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. On the side, the first-class heavenly soldiers didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Although they were completely on Lu Ming's side and were unhappy with the heavenly human tribe's overbearingness, reality was cruel. However, reality was just this cruel. Who told the celestial clan to be so powerful? Now, I'll give you a chance. Kneel down and kowtow to admit your mistakes, and I'll give you a quick death. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe said. He wanted Lu Ming to kneel. Firstly, he wanted to deal a blow to Lu Ming. Secondly, he wanted to establish his might in front of the other first-rate heavenly soldiers. He wanted these races to be more obedient and understand that they were just ants in front of the celestial race. If they had any second thoughts, they would die. Hee, if I want to kill you, then I'll kill you. What's wrong with that? Also, let me tell you something. I've obtained close to 2,000 ancient secret techniques in the Archean world. If you kill me, you won't be able to obtain any of them. Lu Ming stubbornly stared at the middle-aged heavenly human. It wasn't that easy to kill him. It was not that Lu Ming did not have any trump cards. The ancient secret skills that he had obtained were his trump cards. Sure enough, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe faltered, and his aura weakened slightly. Ancient secret techniques were very precious. This was what the Lord of Heaven wanted. Not only could the ancient secret techniques strengthen the foundation of the heavenly palace, but they could also help the heavenly palace cultivate experts. In addition, it seemed that the Lord of Heaven would sometimes need some ancient secret techniques to inspire his cultivation. Therefore, the ancient secret techniques were still very important to the heavenly palace. Otherwise, the heavenly palace wouldn't have spent so much effort and time waiting for a flaw to appear in the Archean world before sending people in. Hand over all the ancient secret techniques you've obtained, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe said coldly. Hee, why should I give you the ancient secret techniques when you're trying to kill me? Do you think I'm stupid? Lu Ming sneered. He wasn't afraid of the heavenly human tribe expert. Senior, did you see that? This Mu Yun is simply lawless. He even dares to threaten you. I'm not lying, Yu shouted. Shut up. I've said that if I wanted to kill you, you'd be dead already. Don't you think it's funny? You're just a loser. Lu Ming looked at Yu with ridicule and disdain. You are courting death. Yi was furious. His defeat to Lu Ming was a great humiliation to him. However, although he had lost to Lu Ming, it was only by a little. Their combat strength wasn't much different, but in Lu Ming's words, it was as if their combat strength was worlds apart. I can't stand it, I can't stand it. Yi dashed toward Lu Ming. In an instant, he raised his aura to the peak and unleashed his combat power. Streaks of white lightning appeared in his palms. The power of heaven's punishment. Yi Yu used the power of heaven's punishment as soon as he attacked. All of his strength turned into the power of heaven's punishment and blasted towards Lu Ming. Its power was extremely terrifying. If this had happened a year ago, Lu Ming would definitely have been extremely solemn when faced with this attack. He would have circulated all his strength and secret skills to resist it. However, there was no need to do so now. Boom. Yi Yu activated the battle character art and blasted out a punch. The void shook violently and exploded continuously. It was as if the energy of a sun had been condensed into the size of a fist and then exploded. The violent energy madly slanted out and collided with Yi Yu's power of heaven's punishment. Boom. The whole world let out a dull roar and then a scream was heard. A figure was thrown back like a kite with a broken string. He flew for thousands of miles and vomited blood. This figure was naturally Yi Yu. Yi Yu flew for thousands of miles and vomited blood as he shouted in disbelief, "How is this possible? How is this possible?" He couldn't accept it. He had used all of his strength in that move. According to his previous experience with Lu Ming, even if this move couldn't seriously injure Lu Ming, it could at least injure Lu Ming. Last time, when he had fought against Lu Ming had been injured by this attack. Many wounds had appeared on his body. That time, if he hadn't used too much strength, he wouldn't have lost. Lu Ming would have been the one to lose. And now, even with his full strength, he couldn't withstand a single attack from Lu Ming. His power of heaven's punishment had been destroyed by Lu Ming and he had also been injured. How was this possible? How could Lu Ming be so strong? Lu Ming's cultivation level was still at the 9th godly emperor layer. How could he have improved so much in 1 year? Could it be that Lu Ming had been merciful a year ago? At that moment, Yi Yu was stupefied. The other geniuses of the heavenly human clan, the core disciples of the heavenly palace, and the 39 first-class celestial soldiers were also stupefied. They had witnessed the battle between Lu Ming and Yi Yu with their own eyes. Previously, Lu Ming had won in terms of strength and endurance. At the peak of his attacking power, Yi Yu clearly had the upper hand. But just then, Yi Yu hadn't been able to defeat Lu Ming at all. They weren't on the same level. What else could they do apart from being stupefied? I said that if I really wanted to kill you, you wouldn't have been able to live until now. Facts have proven that the crimes you accused me of before were groundless. They didn't exist, said Lu Ming coldly. He looked at the big man from the heavenly human clan. Chapter 4177. Yi Yu said that Lu Ming wanted to kill them, but Lu Ming used facts to prove that it was groundless. Yi Yu, the strongest person in the heavenly human tribe, couldn't even withstand one move from Lu Ming. If Lu Ming wanted to kill them, would they be able to live? How could they make a fuss here? Since this was completely groundless and fabricated, it was conceivable that the other two were most likely fake as well. That was what Lu Ming wanted to express. Lowly bastard, you're courting death. At this moment, Yi Yu had completely gone crazy and was screaming hysterically. He was defeated by Lu Ming in public with one move, especially with the elders of the heavenly human tribe beside him. If this matter were to spread, he would be embarrassed and become the laughingstock of the heavenly human tribe. He would be attacked by his competitors. He was about to go crazy. How dare you? At this moment, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe shouted and a cold aura burst out, shrouding Lu Ming. He said coldly, "Mu Yun, you attacked the genius of the heavenly human tribe just now. This is disgraceful. I saw it with my own eyes this time. Are you still trying to deny it?" What? Lu Ming was a little confused. Did the other party accuse him just like that? Who attacked first just now? Lu Ming was just fighting back. Lu Ming couldn't help but laugh and said, "Yi Yu attacked first just now and launched a sure-kill attack on me. According to you, I can't fight back? How dare you? Watch your attitude when talking to me." The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe shouted and continued, "I don't care about the reason. I only care about the result. The result is that you attacked Yi Yu. For you're just a heavenly soldier and a human. Your status and identity are worlds apart from Yi Yu's. You attacked him and offended your superiors. That's a capital offense. Do you understand? Lu Ming was so angry that he laughed. How shameless! How could he say something like that? The other party's unspoken words were that no matter what the celestial race did to you, you could only endure. Even if they wanted to kill you, you could only wait for death. If you resisted, you would be committing treason. Offending your superiors was a crime punishable by death. In that case, what else was there to say? You can say whatever you want. Anyway, all the ancient secret skills are in my head. If you want to attack me or kill me, it's up to you. I can't resist, but I can only take these ancient secret skills with me. Lu Ming said indifferently. His face was filled with arrogance and disdain. This attitude directly ignited the anger of the heavenly human tribe's anger. He exploded and shouted, "How dare you! Mu Yun, you'd better hand over the ancient secret technique today and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. Moreover, I know your origin. You're from the Fengdu sword sect of the Iron Sea Star region. As long as I give the order, the Fengdu sword sect will disappear from the universe in an instant. Not only the Fengdu sword sect, but even the Iron Sea Star region will cease to exist. Do you understand? A threat, a blatant threat. After using Lu Ming's life as a threat, he used the Fengdu sword sect and the Iron Sea Star region as a threat. Lu Ming finally saw the heavenly human tribe's attitude today. The heavenly human tribe, except for their great talent, was no different from the ordinary playboys in terms of character. They were despicable and shameless. Okay, go ahead. I don't care. Lu Ming spread his hands and showed an indifferent attitude. Although he did not want to implicate the Fengdu sword sect, Lu Ming knew that the more he showed concern, the easier it would be for the other party to manipulate him. The Fengdu sword sect would be safer if he showed no concern. This kid, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe, did not expect Lu Ming to not care about the safety of the Fengdu sword sect. Such a ruthless person was the hardest to deal with. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe had lived for a long time and had seen countless people. However, he did not know how to deal with Lu Ming. In his eyes, Lu Ming was like a porcupine that he did not know how to deal with. All right. At this moment, a majestic voice came from the sky. Then, the void flashed and a figure appeared out of thin air. It was a young man from the heavenly human tribe. He looked like he was in his 20s. He had a head of golden hair and was very handsome. He had a faint smile on his face. However, it was this faint smile that showed his supreme majesty. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe and a few other experts, including Yi Yu and the other young sky prides of the heavenly human tribe, changed their expressions when they saw this person. They put on a respectful expression and bowed deeply. "Greetings, Lord Heaven." Upon hearing this, Lu Ming and the others were shocked. The Lord Heaven. This young man from the heavenly human tribe who looked to be in his 20s was actually the Lord Heaven. The Lord Heaven of the heavenly palace. His cultivation level was at least at the almighty realm. This person was undoubtedly a terrifying existence at the almighty realm. Although he looked young, no one knew how long he had lived for. "Greetings, Lord Heaven." The other first-class heavenly soldiers and the core disciples of the heavenly palace bowed respectfully. Lu Ming also cupped his fists and bowed. Although he was unhappy with the heavenly human tribe, they were still at the almighty realm. Lord Heaven, why are you here?" "I'm teaching this human kid a lesson. This kid is unfilial." The burly man from the heavenly human clan came before the Lord of Heaven with a respectful expression. He then began to criticize Lu Ming. "Enough." The Lord Heaven said coldly, sounding displeased. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe stopped talking abruptly. There was a trace of fear on his face. It was obvious that the Lord Heaven's displeasure was directed at him. At this thought, his back was immediately drenched in cold sweat. Although his cultivation level had reached the peak of the Emperor God realm, he was only one step away from the almighty realm. However, this one step was an insurmountable chasm. This chasm was extremely difficult to break through. In the heavenly palace, there were many peak Emperor God realm existences, but there were not many almighty realm existences. Almighty realm existences stood at the peak of the primitive universe. Among all the major races in the universe, only the top 100 races had almighty realm existences. Once a race had an almighty realm expert, the status of the entire race would rise. The gap between the Emperor God realm and the almighty realm was too big. One finger from either side could easily crush him. It was a big deal to offend a almighty realm expert. It would be fine if it were another almighty realm expert, but the other party was from the heavenly human tribe. Moreover, anyone who could become the Lord Heaven was a top existence even among the almighty realm experts. I know what happened before. Remember, the various races in the universe are one with the heavenly human tribe. They are not our slaves, nor are they our enemies. Our enemies are the demons and those traitors. Do you understand? The Lord Heaven said coldly. He was obviously criticizing Yi Yu and the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe for their attitude toward Lu Ming. Yes. I know I was wrong. Yi Yu and the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe quickly nodded. Chapter 4178. Yi Yu, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe, and the others nodded in awe. However, they felt that something was amiss. Their attitude towards other races was not inherited from the Lord of Heaven. Wasn't that the heavenly human tribe's style? They had always looked down on other races in the universe. Only those who had reached the almighty realm would be respected by the heavenly human tribe and treated with respect. After all, even the heavenly palace had to pay attention to those who had reached the almighty realm. However, Lu Ming was just a junior of the human tribe. Could it be that the Lord of Heaven has taken a fancy to this kid's talent? Yi Yu, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe, and the others were shocked. Yi Yu, in particular, was certain that the Lord of Heaven had taken a fancy to Lu Ming's talent. This made the anger in his heart even stronger, and he was filled with intense jealousy. He believed that the Lord of Heaven must have taken a fancy to Lu Ming's talent because he had been defeated by Lu Ming. Lu Ming had taken a fancy to the Lord of Heaven because he had trampled on him. Unforgivable! Yi Yu roared in his heart, but he did not dare to show it in front of the Lord of Heaven. Good job, Mu Yun! At that moment, the Lord of Heaven looked at Lu Ming and said, "It's rare to see someone as talented as you in the universe. Work hard and cultivate in the heavenly palace. Don't worry, no one will make things difficult for you in the future." Thank you, Lord of Heaven. Lu Ming cupped his fists and thanked him again. The promise I made to you before is still valid. In the archaic world, whoever obtains something belongs to you. No one else can take it away. You can use it to exchange for merit points with the heavenly palace. Do you understand? The Lord of Heaven glanced at the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe, Yi Yu, and the others. Although his gaze was calm, Yi Yu and the others still felt chills running down their spines as they nodded their heads in agreement. The void trembled slightly as the Lord of Heaven disappeared from where he was and left the place. This Lord of Heaven is somewhat familiar. Lu Ming looked in the direction where the Lord of Heaven had left with a thoughtful expression. He felt that this Lord of Heaven's silhouette was somewhat familiar. He thought of the 6 divine lords who had fought against the demon masters in the dark universe. Among them, there were 3 Lord of Heaven. Although the 3 Lord of Heaven were shrouded in the light and their faces could not be seen clearly, Lu Ming felt that one of the Lord of Heaven's silhouette was similar to the Lord of Heaven. Perhaps it was one of them. Back then, when Lu Ming was fighting with the demon prodigy, he had turned the tide and made great contributions. Perhaps this heavenly Lord had a good impression of him. Moreover, he had displayed great talent. That was why he had saved him. Everyone, please leave. Lu Ming looked at Yi Yu, the middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe, and the others. Kid, consider yourself lucky this time. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe harumphed coldly. He was extremely unhappy and his killing intent towards Lu Ming was extremely strong. He wanted to slap Lu Ming to death. However, the Lord of Heaven had already spoken. Even if he had 10 times the courage, he would not dare to attack Lu Ming. Even if he wanted to attack Lu Ming, it would take some time. As long as he was in the heavenly palace, there would be plenty of opportunities. The middle-aged man from the heavenly human tribe sneered in his heart. That's right. You're lucky this time, but you can't be so lucky every time. Let's wait and see. Yu harumphed coldly, then turned and left. The other core disciples of the heavenly human tribe and the heavenly palace also followed Yu and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The other first-class heavenly soldiers also turned and left. They kept a distance from Lu Ming, keeping a distance from each other. This time, although Lu Ming had saved his life because of the Lord of Heaven, he had completely offended Yu and the other heavenly human tribe experts. They would definitely hate him. If he got too close to Lu Ming, he would most likely be remembered by the other party. His ending would definitely not be good. Lu Ming's expression was calm as he walked away. Not long after, Lu Ming returned to his residence. This time, I've offended Yu and the others. With their temperament, they most likely won't let this matter rest. I should stay away from Dandan and Ling Yuwei in the future, so as to not implicate them. Lu Ming was thinking, preparing for a rainy day. Sooner or later, he would have to leave the heavenly palace. If he were to get too close to Dandan and Ling Yuwei, he would probably implicate them when he left the heavenly palace in the future. However, when he returned, he did not see Dandan and Ling Yuwei. Presumably, the two of them were either cultivating in seclusion or carrying out some mission. Lu Ming entered his room, sat down cross-legged, and began to count his gains this time. The main harvest this time was the primordial divine stone. This was the biggest harvest. In addition, he had obtained a total of 1,700 types of ancient secret techniques. This was also an astonishing harvest. Among them, there were more than 800 types that Lu Ming had fused into his cells in the form of secret technique runes. He had already mastered them. The remaining ones were all exchanged with the great Magus God Palace. They were all recorded in Lu Ming's mind, and he needed to slowly comprehend and cultivate them later on. This time, I've obtained a total of more than 1,700 ancient secret techniques. However, it's impossible for all of them to be exchanged with the heavenly palace. There are about 1,000 of them that can be exchanged. Lu Ming carefully recalled the ancient secret techniques that the heavenly palace already had. Lu Ming had long since memorized the names of the thousands of ancient secret techniques that the heavenly palace already had. It was only 1,000 of them. With Lu Ming's current memory, he could remember them with a single glance. Next, Lu Ming wanted to make a copy of the ancient secret technique that he had obtained and take it to the heavenly palace to exchange for merit points. The heavenly palace already had it, so there was no need to make a copy. Lu Ming waved his hand and a pile of jade talismans appeared. These jade talismans were empty and could be used to record ancient secret techniques. After closing his eyes and thinking for a while, Lu Ming picked up a jade talisman. He stretched out his hand and a ray of light enveloped the jade talisman. Not long after, the cultivation method of one of the ancient secret techniques was recorded in the jade talisman. After putting away the jade talisman, Lu Ming took out a second jade talisman and continued to record. Just like that, a few days later, Lu Ming had recorded all the ancient secret techniques that the heavenly palace did not have on the jade talisman. I've completed my task. How many merit points can I exchange for over 1,000 ancient secret techniques? Lu Ming's face was filled with anticipation. Even the cheapest ancient secret technique could be exchanged for 100,000 merit points. Over 1,000 of them could be exchanged for at least 100 million merit points. This was calculated based on the lowest standard. In fact, it was definitely more than that. How many treasures can I exchange for with 100 million merit points? This time, I must make a good haul. Also, with so many merit points, it's enough for me to advance to the Divine General level. I can then go to the 4th level of the Blessings Tower to cultivate. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart was burning with excitement. He immediately started to move. In front of the Merit Exchange Hall, he planned to exchange these ancient secret techniques for secret technique runes. Chapter 4179. Young friend, is there anything I can help you with? A heavenly human elder looked at Lu Ming with a smile. Senior, I have a batch of Archean secret skills that I need to exchange for merit points. Lu Ming said, Archean secret skills? It seems like you're one of the people who entered the Archean world this time? The heavenly human elder said. Senior, you're right. Lu Ming nodded. Have you made a copy of your ancient secret technique? Copy them and give them to me. I'll check them. You should know that the heavenly palace already has them, so I can't give them to you. The heavenly human elder said. I know. Lu Ming nodded and waved his hand. A pile of jade talismans flew out. There were more than 1,000 of them. So many? The eyes of the old man from the heavenly human tribe widened. He was deeply shocked. Are all these Archean secret skills? The heavenly human elder asked with a trembling voice. That's right. There are a total of 1,003 Archean secret skills that the heavenly palace doesn't have. Senior, please check them, Lu Ming said. Hiss, the heavenly human elder sucked in a cold breath. 1,003 Archean secret skills. A total of 1,003 Archean secret skills. Most importantly, these 1,003 Archean secret skills were not available in the heavenly palace. How many Archean secret skills did Lu Ming obtain in total? This brat was amazing. The elder from the heavenly human tribe sized Lu Ming up carefully. He knew that this human lad in front of him was most likely a rare and unparalleled genius. Okay, I'll exchange them for you now. However, each Archean secret skill has a different value. I need to send the information up to determine the exact price, the heavenly human elder said. Senior, please. Lu Ming smiled. Wait a minute. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. Then a group of people walked in. Yiyu, Lu Ming frowned. It was this guy again. Nothing good would come out of this guy's appearance. Yiyu. When the heavenly human elders saw Yiyu, he smiled. This made Lu Ming feel even more uneasy. The heavenly human elder and Yiyu knew each other. Uncle Chuan. Yiyu nodded. Yiyu, what are you doing here? The heavenly human elder asked. I'm also here to exchange my ancient secret skills for merit points. This is my ancient secret skill. You guys can also exchange your ancient secret skills for merit points. Yi waved his hand and a batch of jade talismans. The other heavenly humans did the same. They took out some jade talismans. Obviously, these jade talismans recorded the Archean secret skills. Lu Ming frowned and said to the heavenly human elder, Senior, I came first. I should be the first to exchange. What do you mean you have to exchange first because you came here first? Where did this rule come from? In my heavenly human tribe, there is no such rule. Uncle Chuan, don't you think so? Yiyu said. That's right. Yiyu, take out your Archean secret skills. I'll exchange them for you first. The heavenly human elders smiled and ignored Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face turned gloomy. However, there was nothing he could say if the heavenly human elder insisted on exchanging for Yiyu and the others first. The heavenly human elder began to check the Archean secret skills of Yiyu and the others. After a while, everything was ready and he began to give them the merit points. After 3 hours, Yiyu and the others were finally done exchanging. Senior, it's my turn now, right? Lu Ming said. Uncle Chuan, this person's Archean secret skills are of unknown origin. I think it's better not to exchange them for him. Yiyu said coldly as his gaze shifted. The heavenly human elder hesitated. Not exchanging? Okay, these Archean secret skills are what the Lord of Heaven wants. If you don't exchange them, I can only keep them for myself. If the Lord of Heaven asks, I can only say that you don't need these Archean secret skills. Lu Ming sneered. He turned and left after saying that. The Archean secret skills were something that the heavenly palace needed to exchange for. If he didn't want to exchange them, he would just lose some merit points. The initiative was in his hands. Would he be afraid? Sure enough, the heavenly human elder's face changed and he hurriedly shouted, Young friend, please wait. I didn't say that I don't want to exchange them. Lu Ming had so many Archean secret skills. If he didn't exchange them, he couldn't afford to be punished by the Lord of Heaven. Lu Ming turned around and sneered. Damn it! Yiyu roared in his heart. However, he didn't dare to stop Lu Ming from exchanging them. He didn't have the right to do so. Senior, please check them. Lu Ming took out the 1,003 jade talismans again. The old man from the heavenly human tribe checked the list and said, There are only 603 ancient secret skills that you can exchange for. Only 603? What's going on? I clearly remember that the Heavenly Palace doesn't have any of these. Lu Ming's face changed. They didn't have any before, but now they do, the Heavenly Human Elder said lightly. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He understood. Just now Yu and the others had exchanged for 400 Archean secret skills that the Heavenly Palace didn't have. In this way, the Heavenly Palace would have 400 more Archean secret skills. Naturally, there would be fewer Archean secret skills to exchange for. Damn it! Lu Ming roared in his heart. He was the one who came first. If he had exchanged first, this wouldn't have happened. However, the Heavenly Human Elder helped Yu and the others, which made him lose a lot of merit points for no reason. How many merit points could he exchange for 400 Archean secret skills? Lu Ming's heart was bleeding. On the side, Yu and the others sneered. In fact, they could have exchanged for the Archean secret skills if they had been here, but they deliberately waited here for Lu Ming to exchange for them. They deliberately wanted to anger Lu Ming and suppress Lu Ming. Young friend, I didn't violate the Heavenly Palace's rules, nor did I violate the Lord of Heaven's wishes. The Archean secret skills in the Heavenly Palace can't be exchanged. The Lord of Heaven has already said that. Young friend, do you still want to exchange for them? The Heavenly Human Elder smiled. Now, he wasn't afraid that Lu Ming wouldn't exchange for them. Anyway, he didn't violate the rules. If Lu Ming didn't exchange for them, it would be Lu Ming's responsibility, not his. He didn't make things difficult for Lu Ming. He was just doing things according to the rules. If that happened, the Lord of Heaven wouldn't be looking for him, but Lu Ming. This wasn't a conspiracy, but an open one. Lu Ming also knew this. If he didn't exchange for them, he would be the one to suffer. I'll exchange for them, but every Archean secret skill has a corresponding price. If you don't give me enough, I'll look for the Lord of Heaven to judge, Lu Ming said. He had no choice. The Heavenly Palace was the Heavenly Palace of the Heavenly Human Tribe. He was always at a disadvantage in the Heavenly Palace, so he had to get some benefits. Don't worry, we won't shortchange you. There are a total of 603 Archean secret skills. The Heavenly Human Elder said. Then he recorded the names of the 603 Archean secret skills and reported them to the higher-ups. The higher-ups would set the price. He couldn't do anything about it. Chapter 4180. Lu Ming waited for a few hours. Finally, the prices of the various ancient secret techniques were set and the merit points were distributed. Here are the prices of the various ancient secret techniques. Check them. If they are correct, you can officially exchange them. The Heavenly Human Elder handed a jade talisman to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took it and scanned it with his spiritual consciousness. There was information about the prices of the various ancient secret techniques. Lu Ming read it carefully, then nodded and returned the jade talisman to the other party. The prices given were relatively fair. The lowest price was 100,000 supply points, and the highest was 1 million merit points. This was about the same as the exchange price in the Heavenly Palace. Lu Ming expressed that there was no problem. Give me your identity medallion. The Heavenly Human Elder said. Lu Ming handed the identity token to the other party. The other party placed the identity token on a disc array. Buzz. The disc array vibrated and emitted a dazzling light. Rays of light were continuously injected into the identity token. With such a large number of merit points involved, the Heavenly Human Elder naturally did not have the authority to distribute them. The higher-ups of the Heavenly Palace would distribute the merit points remotely through the disc array. A moment later, the disc array's light door dimmed. All right, you can check it. The Heavenly Human Elder handed the disc array to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took it and scanned it with his spiritual consciousness. He immediately saw the number of merit points that Lu Ming had. A total of more than 130 million merit points. 130 million merit points. Even though he was mentally prepared, Lu Ming's heart still beat violently when he saw so many merit points in one go. Most of the 603 ancient secret techniques were priced at 100,000 merit points each. However, there were also some extremely expensive ones that reached 1 million merit points. Of course, there were very few of these secret techniques. All in all, They were worth about 200,000 merit points each. At the same time, Lu Ming's heart ached for the 400 ancient secret techniques. If not for Yi Yu and the others, he would have gained more than 80 million merit points. Even so, Lu Ming was satisfied. With over 130 million merit points, how many treasures could he exchange for? Lu Ming had already recited the names of the various treasures in his mind. By the side, Yu gave a cold snort and left with his people. Although this caused Lu Ming to earn less merit points, he knew that Lu Ming's remaining ancient secret techniques could still be exchanged for an astonishing amount of merit points. This made him extremely displeased, and he left with a cold face. Lu Ming handed over the ancient secret technique to the celestial race elder and left as well. After leaving, Lu Ming went straight to the military affairs office. He planned to become a divine general first before heading to the merit exchange hall to exchange for a batch of treasures. Then, he would head to the Blessings Tower to cultivate. Only after becoming a divine general could one enter the 4th level of the Blessings Tower to cultivate. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the military affairs department. What? You want to become a divine general? The heavenly official in charge of the promotion ceremony exclaimed in shock as he stared at Lu Ming with wide eyes. He could see that Lu Ming was only at the 9th level of the Godly Emperor realm. Reaching the 9th level of the Godly Emperor realm at such a young age was already extremely shocking. However, becoming a divine general from the 9th level of the Godly Emperor realm was even more shocking. There were only a few cases in history. That's right. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. The heavenly official carefully sized up Lu Ming, and his eyes suddenly flashed. Are you called Mu Yun? That's right, I am Mu Yun. Do you know me? Lu Ming was astonished. He was so famous in the heavenly palace now? Even a heavenly official from the military affairs office knew him? That's right. Since you are Mu Yun, please go back. The heavenly official said. Go back? What do you mean? Lu Ming frowned. It's very simple. You've only been in the heavenly palace for a short time. You don't have enough experience. Besides, your cultivation level is too low. You're only a godly emperor. You're not qualified to become a divine general. You should go back and gain experience. You can come back when you break through to the godly emperor realm. The heavenly official explained coldly. Lu Ming's expression darkened. Your Excellency heavenly official, if I remember correctly, the heavenly palace says that as long as you have accumulated 10 million merit points, you can become a divine general, right? Are there other requirements? Lu Ming asked. The position of a divine general is not a trivial matter. You have to guard a region and there must be no mistakes. Although there is a rule that you can be promoted as long as you accumulate 10 million merit points, it depends on the specific situation. If you are not suitable, you cannot be promoted. If you have any doubts, you can ask around. All right, I have other things to do. Don't get in my way. The heavenly official waved his hand coldly. Lu Ming had no choice but to turn and leave. He knew that the heavenly official was probably telling the truth. There were probably stricter requirements for becoming a divine general. Otherwise, the heavenly official would not have dared to violate the heavenly rules. However, he had never heard of such a special requirement. It was unlikely that it would be used under normal circumstances. But now, Lu Ming did not believe that there would be such a coincidence. It's most likely the work of Yi Yu and the others, Lu Ming inwardly snorted. He knew that Yi Yu and the others must be behind this, deliberately preventing him from becoming a divine general. There were several losses if he could not become a divine general. First, he could not receive a divine general armor. A divine general armor was even stronger than a first-grade celestial soldier armor in terms of defense. Second, he could not enter the 4th level of the Blessings Tower to cultivate. At worst, I'll just give it up. I can still cultivate the 3rd level. I'll just have to spend a little more time. Lu Ming muttered to himself as he left the office. After Lu Ming left the military affairs office, a figure came out. It was Yi Yu. Mu Yun, this is just the beginning. Just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll make you kneel before me and beg for mercy. A sinister smile appeared on Yi Yu's face. After Lu Ming left the military affairs office, he went straight to the merit exchange hall. It was time to exchange his vast amount of merit points for various treasures. Soon, Lu Ming arrived at the merit exchange hall. Let's exchange for a batch of broken divine weapons for Qiuqiu first. Lu Ming's first thought was Qiuqiu. He entered the ball of light that stored the broken divine weapons. A large number of broken divine weapons were placed in front of Lu Ming. This broken divine weapon is worth 1,000 merit points. It's too low grade. I don't want it. This divine weapon is worth 5,000. It's too low grade. I don't want it. Lu Ming scanned the list. He did not want anything that was worth less than 100,000 merit points. Now that Lu Ming was rich, he did not want anything that was so cheap. The higher the price of a broken divine weapon, the higher the grade and more precious it was when it was in perfect condition. The more precious the treasure was, the more Qiuqiu's potential could be fully unleashed. This half of a battle saber is worth 200,000 merit points. Not bad. I'll exchange for it. Lu Ming used his identity token and paid 200,000 merit points for a blood-red battle saber. Crunch, crunch, I want to eat it. Qiuqiu immediately stared at the battle saber. Don't wait until tonight. Chapter 4181. Lu Ming smiled and threw the blood-red battle saber to Qiuqiu. Qiuqiu swallowed the saber in one gulp, revealing a look of enjoyment. Lu Ming continued his search. Next, Lu Ming exchanged for all the broken divine weapons that were worth more than 100,000. Soon he spent 2 million merit points. It's still too low level. Are there any broken divine weapons worth more than 1 million merit points? Lu Ming pondered. He was interested in broken divine weapons like the broken spear from last time. Only those kinds of divine weapons could play a powerful role. Qiuqiu's cultivation had soared to the peak of the 9th godly emperor realm after devouring it, and it had only refined a part of it. However, there were too many broken divine weapons like that. They floated in the air like stars in the universe. It was not easy to find them. Lu Ming released his spiritual awareness and began to focus on searching for high-level broken divine weapons. Lu Ming was too lazy to deal with ordinary broken divine weapons. The ones he had exchanged for before should be enough. An hour later, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He finally found a broken divine weapon worth 1 million merit points. No, it could not be called a broken divine weapon anymore. It was just a piece of scrap metal the size of a palm. Yes, it was a piece of black metal the size of a palm. It was impossible to tell what kind of weapon it was. Lu Ming was surprised. It was just a piece of metal. He could not tell what kind of weapon it was, but it was worth 1 million merit points. It was definitely not a small matter. I want to eat it, I want to eat it. Qiuqiu became anxious when he saw the piece of metal. There was a deep desire in his eyes. Exchange. Lu Ming did not hesitate to exchange for it. After a while, he got the piece of metal. What a heavy piece of metal! Lu Ming held the piece of metal in his hand and found that it was extremely heavy. It was like holding a star in his hand. Lu Ming had to use all his strength to hold it. It was just an incomplete piece of metal. He did not know what kind of weapon it came from. It was so heavy that it was many times heavier than the gravity orb in his hand. This was no small matter. This was no small matter. I want to eat, I want to eat. Qiuqiu was already shouting impatiently. Here, be careful, it's heavy, Lu Ming said. With that, he tossed it to Qiuqiu, who swallowed it into the air. To Lu Ming's surprise, such a heavy piece of iron was swallowed by the balloon, but he was completely fine. Lu Ming finally understood. As long as it was a metal-type treasure, once it entered Qiuqiu's mouth, it would become his food and he would be free to refine it. Let's continue searching. Lu Ming did not give up and continued his search. A few hours later, Lu Ming found another 2 damaged divine weapons that were worth 1 million merit points. It was easy to tell what kind of weapons these 2 broken divine weapons were. One of them was half a sword, and the other was half a glove. These 2 items were no small matter. Otherwise, they would not be worth 1 million merit points after being damaged. It was about the same as the spear that Lu Ming had exchanged for previously. Lu Ming exchanged for them and gave them to Qiuqiu. What Lu Ming did not expect was that after eating these two broken divine weapons, Qiuqiu's body immediately emitted a mysterious and powerful fluctuation. This is the prelude to evolution? Lu Ming could not help but widen his eyes. That's right, this is the prelude to evolution and breaking through to the Emperor God realm. Gu Mo's voice sounded at the right time. It's evolving so soon? Qiuqiu has just eaten those broken divine weapons and hasn't refined them yet, but it's already evolving? Lu Ming was very surprised. That's why I said that breaking through to the Emperor God realm requires an opportunity. Qiuqiu ate that spear in the past and did not completely refine it, so there's still a lot left. Over the years, a large portion of that spear has been refined, and the accumulated energy is actually enough to break through to the Emperor God realm, but it's stuck at a bottleneck. This time, it has continuously swallowed many high-level divine weapons. When these divine weapons were complete, they were controlled by various powerful existences and contained different kinds of qi. Now that Qiuqiu has swallowed so many divine weapons and their qi is colliding, it probably found the opportunity to break through. Gu Mo explained. Gu Mo had lived for a very long time and had experienced a lot. His eyes were unusually sharp, and he easily saw through the truth behind it. Lu Ming nodded. It seemed like this was most likely the case. Lu Ming did not expect that after exchanging these broken divine weapons, Qiuqiu would find the opportunity to break through. This made him very happy. It was completely worth it to spend 5 million merit points previously. Once it broke through to the Emperor God realm, Qiuqiu's strength would skyrocket, and it would be a great help to him. Let's go back first, Lu Ming muttered. Then, he left the merit points exchange hall and returned to his residence. He placed Qiuqiu in his room and set up a layer of array around the room. It was not a particularly profound array, but it could conceal the fluctuations caused by Qiuqiu's breakthrough. After placing Qiuqiu down, Lu Ming went to the merit points exchange hall again. There should be more than 200 ancient secret techniques in the heavenly palace that I don't have. Should I exchange for them? Lu Ming pondered. The heavenly palace originally had more than 1,000 ancient secret techniques. This time, Lu Ming had obtained more than 1,700 ancient secret techniques in the archaic world. However, these over 1,700 types of ancient mystic skills did not completely overlap with the 1,000 types of ancient mystic skills in the Sky Palace. In fact, there were more than 200 ancient mystic skills that did not overlap. Lu Ming did not have them. Lu Ming was considering if he should exchange for them. However, after thinking for a while, Lu Ming decided not to exchange for them first. He already had enough ancient secret techniques in his possession. Although some of them were directly integrated into his cells through secret technique runes, they were only at the entry level. He did not know how long it would take to cultivate all of them to the great success stage. There was also a large portion that he had not even started to comprehend. He did not know how long it would take to cultivate all of them to the great success stage. Moreover, he still had a large number of ordinary secret techniques that he had yet to cultivate. Lu Ming was afraid that he would not be able to digest them if he ate them before they were completely digested. Therefore, Lu Ming planned to cultivate all of them to the great success stage before exchanging for them. If he did not exchange for the secret techniques first, then what should he exchange for? Lu Ming pondered carefully. After a while, Lu Ming had an idea. First, of course, he would exchange for divine pills that were helpful for cultivation. There were also some natural treasures similar to the elvenwood heart that contained pure energy. These were the foundation of Lu Ming's cultivation. Naturally, the more he had, the better. Lu Ming spent a total of 20 million merit points to exchange for a large number of natural treasures and divine pills. In this way, Lu Ming only had about 100 million merit points left. I can't keep my merit points. The only way is to convert them into treasures. Let me see the blood of the primordial god, the bones, and treasures for cultivating divine power of origin and secret techniques of origin. Chapter 4182. The Merit Exchange Hall in the Heavenly Palace had everything. You could see any kind of treasure as long as you had enough merit points. For example, the blood and bones of primitive godly spirits were priceless treasures that were priceless in the outside world. However, the exchange hall of the heavenly palace also had them, and the quantity was astonishing. Lu Ming's current body was a forbidden body, so he couldn't use these treasures. However, his past self could be used. His past body mainly cultivated the universe 10,000 Dao art, which allowed him to cultivate countless kinds of divine powers, specialize in the divine power of origin and secret arts of origin, and cultivate the primordial divine body. So, these treasures were very useful to Lu Ming's past body. Besides his past body, Lu Ming also had family, disciples and friends. They could also use these treasures. However, treasures related to the primordial divine spirit were very expensive. One drop of the primordial divine spirit's blood cost 10,000 merit points. In the end, Lu Ming bought 3,000 drops and spent 30 million merit points. Besides, Lu Ming also had his eyes on a primordial divine spirit skull. The price was even higher. A single skull cost 10 million merit points. The price was shocking, but so were the effects. Anyone who cultivated the divine power of origin and secret arts of origin would be thousands of times more effective if they cultivated around this skull. When they were in the Taishu Holy Court, everyone cultivated using the primitive deity statue. But compared to this skull, the primordial divine statue was much more inferior. This skull exuded the spirituality of the primordial divine spirit, as if it was made of beautiful jade. It was very mysterious. Lu Ming bought it without hesitation. If he brought this treasure back to the Taishu dynasty and gave it to his family, disciples and friends, the effects would be amazing. Even if his past self cultivated under this skull, the effect would still be astonishing. This was a real primordial divine spirit skull. After buying these treasures, he spent another 40 million merit points. Oh right, there's also the divine source flower. It's effective for the divine power of origin to awaken 7 or 8 times. There's also the divine power origin bead, devil origin fruit, life origin grass. In Lu Ming's mind, the names of various heavenly materials and earthly treasures kept appearing. These divine medicines and treasures were very useful for cultivating divine power of origin or secret arts of origin. From treasures that could help awaken divine power of origin, to treasures that could help awaken divine power of origin, to treasures that could help awaken divine power of origin once or twice, to 3 or 4 times, to 7 or 8 times, he exchanged for all of them. There were also treasures that could help sever the shackles of origin secret techniques. This time, he spent another 10 million merit points, nearly 20 million merit points. There are also forbidden weapon domain talismans. Let's exchange for a few of them as well as some other treasures. Lu Ming continued to exchange for various other treasures, spending another few million merit points. In this way, Lu Ming was left with about 40 million merit points. The merit points are being spent too quickly. Lu Ming sighed. In the beginning, he had more than 130 million merit points. Although it seemed like a lot, he still felt that it wasn't enough when he spent them. Lu Ming realized that no matter how many merit points he had, once he entered the merit exchange hall, he felt that it wasn't enough. This was because there were simply too many treasures in the merit exchange hall. Some of the treasures were shockingly expensive. Lu Ming even saw treasures that were worth 10 billion. That's right. They were treasures that could only be exchanged for with 10 billion merit points. Lu Ming could only look at such treasures. He didn't even need to think about them. However, although he had spent so many merit points, Lu Ming was still quite satisfied. After all, he had exchanged for a large number of treasures that could be used for a long time. The rewards from this trip to the great ancient world were unimaginable. I still have 40 million merit points. I can cultivate on the 3rd level of the Blessings Tower for more than 200 years. Now, it's time to improve. I hope that there are no missions assigned to me during this period. After putting away the treasures that he had exchanged for, Lu Ming left in satisfaction. After leaving the Merit Exchange Hall, he went straight to the Blessings Tower and entered the 3rd level. This time, Lu Ming didn't go directly to the primordial divine sound to comprehend the secret technique. Instead, he went to the lake that was filled with the primordial divine spirit's blood. Lu Ming planned to try and see if he could use the primordial divine spirit's blood to break through to the next level. Lu Ming stepped into the primordial divine spirit's blood lake. His entire body sank into the lake and he began to cultivate. Time flew by quickly. Day after day passed. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had cultivated in the primordial divine spirit's blood lake for 3 years. After 3 years, Lu Ming's cultivation hadn't changed in the slightest. He was still stuck at the peak of the 9th layer divine emperor realm. It seems like it's very difficult to break through just by cultivating in seclusion. Lu Ming pondered. After cultivating for 3 years, his cultivation hadn't changed at all. He was completely stuck at a bottleneck. Lu Ming walked out of the lake and stopped cultivating. Just as Guillemot had said, if he wanted to break through, he needed an opportunity. Now wasn't the time. Lu Ming left the primordial divine spirit's blood lake and went to the primordial divine sound. Since he couldn't break through to the next level, he would put it aside and cultivate all kinds of secret techniques first. After all, Lu Ming had a lot of secret techniques to cultivate. Very quickly, Lu Ming arrived at the primordial divine sound's place. He sat down cross-legged and entered a state of emptiness. Let's comprehend the ultimate light technique first, Lu Ming thought. The ultimate light technique was ranked in the top 100 of the 3,000 ancient secret techniques. It had both attack and speed. It was very mysterious. Lu Ming liked it very much and decided to cultivate it first. The cultivation method of the ultimate light technique appeared in his mind and he started to comprehend it. However, just as Lu Ming was comprehending the ultimate light technique, the primordial god stone in his mind emitted a slight fluctuation. Then, Lu Ming felt that his speed of comprehending the ancient secret techniques had suddenly increased. And it wasn't just a little, but a lot. The primordial god stone is so mysterious. Not only can I comprehend all kinds of ancient secret techniques from it, but it can also speed up the comprehension of ancient secret techniques? Lu Ming was ecstatic. Originally, with the help of the primordial divine sound, the speed of comprehending ancient secret techniques was already very fast. Now, with the help of the primordial god stone, the speed of comprehending ancient secret techniques had increased to another level. Initially, there were so many ancient mystic skills. He did not know how much time it would take to cultivate them to phenomenal success. Lu Ming was not confident either. But now, the speed of his cultivation was definitely much faster than before. Perhaps, if he cultivated here for a few hundred years, he would be able to cultivate most of the ancient secret techniques in his hands. Continue, hurry up. Lu Ming closed his eyes and continued to comprehend. In the process of his comprehension, the primordial god stone constantly emitted a mysterious fluctuation that increased his comprehension speed. In this state, Lu Ming's comprehension of the ultimate light technique improved by leaps and bounds. Chapter 4183. After a period of time, the Greater Aurora technique had reached the great mastery stage at a rapid speed. With the support of the primordial godly voice and the archaic godly stone, his cultivation speed was extremely fast. In less than a year, he had already reached the greater success stage. Moreover, this was a secret technique that was ranked in the top 100 among the 3,000 archaic secret techniques. Compared to practicing it step by step outside, it saved a lot of time. After finishing the Great Aurora technique, Lu Ming continued to practice the next secret skill, the Great Destruction technique. It took about the same time as the Great Aurora technique. The Great Destruction technique also reached the level of great success. Then he continued to practice the next secret skill. Just like that, Lu Ming concentrated on practicing the ancient secret skills. Of course, from time to time, he would observe some dreamy godly jades to see if the heavenly palace had any tasks for him. Fortunately, the heavenly palace didn't give him any tasks, so he could cultivate in peace. Year after year, in the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been cultivating there for 200 years. In these 200 years, Lu Ming's mind was focused on comprehending the secret skills. His progress was astonishing. Most of the Archean secret skills he had obtained from the Archean world had been cultivated to the profound realm, including the Archean secret skills that he had not comprehended in the beginning. The difficulty of cultivating an ordinary archaic mystic skill was lower than that of the Great Aurora skill and the Great Art of Destruction. Therefore, Lu Ming was able to cultivate more than 1,700 archaic mystic skills to greater success within a short 200 years. In total, 1,700 cells in his body started to shine. It was as if 1,700 stars were embedded in his body. It was extremely dazzling. These 1,700 cells were all cells that had been fused with a secret rune of an ancient secret skill. Boom! Lu Ming's body shook. He felt that his body was filled with endless strength. Strong, too strong. Lu Ming felt that even though he was still at the top of the 9th godly emperor layer, his fighting strength was much stronger than it had been 200 years ago. I am now at the godly emperor layer. How many levels can I surpass to fight? Lu Ming was very curious. He didn't know because he hadn't fought. But it was definitely more than a few levels, more than 8 levels. However, he would need to fight to know how many levels he had reached. Although there were only 1,700 ancient secret skills, they were much stronger than ordinary secret skills. More than 1,700 ancient secret skills transformed into secret skill runes and integrated into his cells. As long as Lu Ming had a thought, these ancient secret skills would integrate with the taboo power. His taboo power had undergone a qualitative change. It had become extremely powerful and indestructible. There was nothing it could not break. At the same time, the forbidden power strength covering his body. His defense was amazing. My remaining merit points can only support me to cultivate here for 12 years. I'd better keep them for now. Who knows, they might be of use elsewhere. Lu Ming's Aurora cultivation. I'll test. To test my fighting strength. Lu-Or. The illusory demon valley was a valley in the dream sky city created by a great deployment spell. There were endless demons condensed by the great deployment spell for the heavenly palace's cultivators to fight and gain experience. First of all, they could increase their fighting strength and experience. Second of all, those demons were very similar to real demons. The heavenly palace's cultivators could also become more familiar with them. When they fought against real demons, they would have more confidence. After a short time, Lu Ming entered the illusory demon valley. As soon as Lu Ming appeared, a large number of demons condensed out of thin air. They flapped their wings, sand and stones flew. They were very similar to real demons. Boom! Lu Ming threw a punch and hundreds of demons exploded. Lu Ming shook his head. Those demons only had the strength of the 4th godly emperor layer. They were too weak. Lu Ming flew deeper into the illusory demon valley. The deeper he went, the stronger the demons were. After a short time, a group of demons of the 5th godly emperor layer attacked Lu Ming. Lu Ming threw a punch and they all disappeared. Too weak. Continue. Boom. He threw a punch and a large number of demons disappeared. Still too weak. Continue. After a short time, hundreds of demons of the 9th godly emperor layer attacked Lu Ming, but Lu Ming still killed them in one punch. Lu Ming shook his head. They were still too weak. Now, in front of Lu Ming, 9th godly emperor layer cultivators were too weak. He could crush them with one finger. It wasn't a challenge at all. As they continued, more and more demons of the 9th godly emperor layer appeared. At first, there were only 100, then 100, then 1,000, but ants were ants. It didn't matter how many of them there were. After a short time, a demon appeared in front of them. Indeed, it was a demon, but its chi was terrifying. It was a great supreme god demon. Finally, a great supreme god demon. Lu Ming smiled. That demon of the 1st great supreme god layer roared furiously. Its chi was like a mountain. It flapped its wings and moved like lightning towards Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming still threw a punch. Then, the demon exploded and turned into a ball of energy, disappearing. That demon of the 1st great supreme god layer was also killed in one punch. They continued forwards. There were still demons of the 1st great supreme god layer, but there were more of them. They couldn't withstand a single attack. After a while, they started to see demons of the 2nd great supreme god layer. The 2nd great supreme god layer was much stronger than the 1st great supreme god layer. Great supreme gods couldn't be compared to godly emperors, because those who could break through to the great supreme god layer were all geniuses. If they had to be compared, they could be compared. For example, what kind of people could defeat cultivators of the great supreme god layer? The answer was that cultivators of the godly emperor layer could defeat cultivators of 3 levels higher than them. For example, if a cultivator of the godly emperor layer could fight against cultivators who were 3 layers higher than him, and when he broke through to the first great supreme god layer, he would be able to fight against cultivators of the second great supreme god layer, even though he had the strength of the first great supreme god layer. In other words, each layer of the great supreme god layer was equivalent to the difference of 3 levels between godly emperors. If a cultivator of the top of the 9th godly emperor layer wanted to defeat cultivators of the second great supreme god layer, they had to be able to defeat cultivators of 7 levels higher than them. Lu Ming obviously couldn't defeat cultivators of 7 levels higher than them. Boom! He threw a punch and the demon exploded. It was still an instant kill. Lu Ming understood that he couldn't defeat cultivators of 7 levels higher than them. He hadn't reached his limit yet. So, he had to continue. Cultivators of the second great supreme god layer couldn't defeat him. Finally, after a while, a cultivator of the third great supreme god layer appeared. Third great supreme god layer, come. Lu Ming looked impatient. He had been fighting for a long time, and finally, a cultivator who could make him feel pressured. This time, he could test out where his ultimate combat strength was. Chapter 4184. The demon of the third great supreme god layer roared. His energy was violent as he dashed towards Lu Ming. The terrifying pressure made Lu Ming's body tense. A third great supreme god layer cultivator was definitely strong. When Lu Ming had broken through to the 9th godly emperor layer in the great ancient world, he had relied on the mysterious ice staff to fight against a third great supreme god layer cultivator. Now, Lu Ming was not using any external force. He was just relying on his own strength. His body trembled and all the cells in his body vibrated. A dazzling light enveloped Lu Ming. He used all kinds of secret techniques and threw a punch. Boom! Their attacks collided, creating a violent shockwave that swept in all directions. Afterward, Lu Ming's body shook and he could not help but retreat continuously. He retreated continuously for more than 10 steps before he steadied himself. As for the demon, his body only swayed a little. Then he continued to attack Lu Ming. My strength is not enough. Lu Ming's heart jumped. He realized that his strength was slightly weaker than his opponent's. He was at a disadvantage in the previous exchange. Let's try a few more moves, Lu Ming whispered. He dashed out and engaged in a fierce battle with the other party. Boom, boom, boom. The two figures continued to fight in the air. The battle was extremely intense. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than a dozen moves. However, Lu Ming was still at a disadvantage. He was forced back with each move. After a dozen moves, he was forced back a few thousand meters. He felt numb all over and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Then, let's try the battle character art to increase my fighting strength by 7 times. Boom! Lu Ming's body rumbled and the battle character art glowed in his sea of consciousness. Lu Ming had activated the battle character art to increase his fighting strength by 7 times. Lu Ming had already cultivated the battle character art to the peak and he could achieve a 100% success rate. Later on, Lu Ming would cultivate the battle character art to increase his fighting strength by 7 times. Although he spent most of his time cultivating the ancient secret technique in the Blessings Tower, he would occasionally take some time to comprehend the battle character manual. Now, he had successfully cultivated the battle character incantation, which increased his combat power by 7 times. Although it wasn't a 100% success rate, it could still succeed once out of 10 times. In the previous battle, Lu Ming had been trying to trigger the battle formula to increase his combat strength by 7 times. Now, he had finally succeeded. After activating the battle character secret art, Lu Ming charged at his opponent again, and the two of them exchanged a blow. Boom! There was another violent explosion, and then, a figure quickly retreated. It was still Lu Ming. The one who retreated was still Lu Ming. the situation had not changed in the slightest. What happened? Lu Ming's expression changed. Previously, when he had fought against the demon of the third great supreme god layer, Lu Ming had been at a disadvantage. That was how strong he was. In the Divine Emperor realm, he could fight someone who was 9 levels higher than him. A total of 9 levels. If news of this spread, people would be scared to death. After all, the candidates of the Universe Genius list could only fight someone who was 4 levels higher than them. Those who could fight someone who was 5 levels higher than them were already unparalleled in the world. For example, Battle God Yuan Wen. And Lu Ming was now 9 levels higher than him. However, between the 9th Great Supreme God Layer and the 3rd Great Supreme God Layer, there should be a difference of 10 levels. That was why Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. He originally thought that after activating the battle character's secret art, his combat strength would increase and he would be able to contend with his opponent. However, after activating the battle character's secret art, he realized that the situation had not changed at all. He could only fight someone who was 9 levels higher than him. What was going on? Lu Ming was puzzled. Continue. Lu Ming continued to use his full strength and charged at the demon. The two sides continued to fight fiercely. However, in the following battle, he was still completely suppressed and was at a disadvantage. He was no match for his opponent. Every time they collided, he was forced to retreat. Lu Ming judged that his combat strength had always been at the level where he could fight someone who was 9 levels higher than him. He withdrew 7 times his combat strength and maintained 6 times his combat strength, which was the same as 7 times his combat strength. Or, if he used 7 times his combat strength and left some forbidden power, he would still be able to fight someone who was 9 levels higher than him. Could it be that fighting someone who is 9 levels higher than me is the limit? Lu Ming thought. After many attempts, the facts proved that this was the case. Lu Ming had also speculated that the forbidden body could not be improved infinitely. There should be a limit. Now, it proved that Lu Ming's speculation was right. There really was a limit. In the Divine Emperor realm, fighting someone who was 9 levels higher than him was the limit. It was impossible to fight someone who was 10 levels higher than him. Even if Lu Ming merged more secret talismans, his combat strength would probably reach its limit. It would be impossible for him to improve any further. After a while, after many attempts, Lu Ming was sure that his limit was 9 levels higher than him. Almost there. Lu Ming thought and stopped fighting. He retreated and decided to leave. He had come to the virtual Evil Demon Canyon to test his combat strength. Now that he had tested it, there was no need for him to stay. However, the demon of the third great supreme god layer did not give up. He roared furiously and charged at Lu Ming. Annoying! Lu Ming frowned. The Bingxian rod appeared in his hands and he smashed it toward the demon. With a bang, the demon exploded, turning into energy and disappearing. Instant kill. Lu Ming could barely compete with a third great supreme god layer cultivator with his current combat strength. Now that he took out the mysterious ice rod, of course, he could instantly kill the demon. After that, Lu Ming left the virtual Evil Demon Canyon without any hindrance and returned to his residence. Chua. When Lu Ming neared the residence, a black spear gleam pierced toward Lu Ming. It was astonishingly fast and its attack power was astonishingly strong. Lu Ming did not hesitate and threw a punch. Ding! Lu Ming's fist collided with the black spear light. In the next moment, Lu Ming's body shook violently. He felt a mountain toppling and ocean surging power. Lu Ming was forced to retreat. So strong. Qiu is so strong. Lu Ming was not surprised. He was happy and smiled. He knew Qiu too well. He did not need to look to know that it was Qiu who had just attacked him. Qiu's attack power had surpassed his. As expected, a round ball rushed out. It was Qiu. He circled around Lu Ming and shouted, Lu Ming, how is it? Am I strong now? I've finally surpassed you. Ha! Qiu laughed loudly and proudly. Qiu, you've broken through to the great supreme god layer. No, it's more than that. Lu Ming looked at Qiu carefully. His eyes opened wider and wider. He realized that Qiu had not only broken through to the great supreme god layer, But his cultivation had also surpassed the first great supreme god layer. He had actually reached the third great supreme god layer. He had not seen Qiuqiu for 200 years. Qiuqiu's cultivation had increased so much. Chapter 4185. Qiuqiu had the strength of the third great supreme god layer, so he could kill cultivators of the fourth great supreme god layer. No wonder he had been sent flying by Qiuqiu. Qiuqiu hadn't used his full strength. Of course, 200 years ago, you gave me those treasures and I was about to break through. As expected, I broke through not long after. In the past 200 years, I've been refining those treasures and my cultivation has advanced by leaps and bounds. I've reached the third great supreme god layer and learned a few powerful secret techniques. Qiuqiu smiled, showing his sharp fangs. Lu Ming was really happy. Last time, he had exchanged so many broken weapons for Qiuqiu. It had been worth it. Now, Qiuqiu would definitely be a great help to him. Besides, he only knew that Qiuqiu's cultivation had advanced a lot, but he didn't know whether Qiuqiu's ability to fight against people with higher cultivation levels had improved. According to Qiuqiu's experience of refining the broken spear, Qiuqiu's ability to fight against people with higher cultivation levels should have improved. That way, Qiuqiu's fighting strength would be even more unpredictable. However, the stronger Qiuqiu was, the better. Qiuqiu has reached the third great supreme god layer. I'm still stuck at the ninth great supreme god layer. I need to find a way to break through. Lu Ming frowned. He had a strong sense of urgency. Before, Lu Ming didn't feel much urgency because his fighting strength could continue to improve. But now he couldn't. His fighting strength had reached the limit. No matter how much he cultivated, he could only fight against people with higher cultivation levels. He couldn't improve anymore. How could Lu Ming not feel a sense of urgency? If he didn't break through now, he would be wasting time and others would catch up to him. For example, Qiuqiu's cultivation level was much higher than his. The other geniuses would also improve by leaps and bounds if they had a fortuitous encounter. If I want to break through, I need to go out and gain experience. I'll go to the Heavenly Palace and see if there are any missions. I can complete them while gaining experience. I can also earn some merit points, Lu Ming thought. After making up his mind, Lu Ming left to see if there were any suitable missions. But halfway there, Lu Ming stopped and took out his identity medallion. Because he had just received a message from his identity medallion. There's a mission, what a coincidence. Lu Ming was slightly stunned. He was rather surprised. This was because the Heavenly Palace's higher-ups had sent a message to Lu Ming from the identity token. It had to be said that this was very coincidental. Lu Ming had just come out of seclusion not long ago, and just as he was about to go and accept a mission came. According to the quest, Lu Ming arrived at a large square. When Lu Ming arrived, he saw a group of people gathered in the square. These people were divided into groups of about 10 people each. They are all first-class heavenly soldier. Lu Ming discovered that almost all of these people were wearing golden heavenly soldier armor. They were all first-rate heavenly soldiers. Most of the first-grade heavenly soldiers were at the God the Arch realm. There were about 12 first-class heavenly soldiers in a batch. In front of a group of first-rate heavenly soldiers stood a figure wearing purple gold battle armor. Divine General. The one in the violet gold armor was a divine general. In front of a divine general stood 12 first-rate heavenly soldiers. Lu Ming looked over and saw at least a dozen batches of first-rate heavenly soldiers. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. What kind of mission was this that required so many experts? More than a dozen batches of people, all first-rate heavenly soldiers or divine generals. This was more than 100 divine emperor experts. You, come here, over here. When Lu Ming arrived, a divine general swept his gaze over Lu Ming and waved at Lu Ming. Lu Ming flew over and found that there were only 9 heavenly soldiers in front of the divine general. Lu Ming landed in the middle of the 9 first-rate heavenly soldiers. No one said anything and they waited quietly. Lu Ming didn't say anything either. Although he didn't know the details of the mission, he believed that he would have an answer in a while. As time passed, more and more people came. Soon, 12 first-rate heavenly soldiers were gathered in Lu Ming's group. Not only that, but there were also divine generals and other first-rate heavenly soldiers. In the end, a total of 18 teams were gathered. Each team was made up of 1 divine general and 12 first-rate heavenly soldiers. Alright, almost everyone is here. Now, let me tell you about the next mission. At this moment, one of the divine generals spoke. Lu Ming could tell that the divine general was from the heavenly human tribe. Only 2 of the 18 divine generals were from the heavenly human tribe. The status of the heavenly human tribe's divine general was naturally higher than the others. Everyone looked at the divine general of the heavenly human tribe, waiting for him to continue. Next, our mission is to hunt down the traitor. The divine general of the heavenly human tribe said, "Hunt down the traitor? Is there a traitor in the heavenly palace?" Everyone was shocked, and each of them revealed a look of surprise. During the heavenly palace era, the heavenly palace ruled the primitive universe, and there were very few traitors. That was because once there was a traitor, it was equivalent to courting death. They couldn't escape the heavenly palace's pursuit. We're willing to serve the heavenly palace with our lives. A first-rate heavenly soldier shouted. He was already flattering the divine general. However, most of them remained silent. Very well. The traitor we're going to hunt down is called Divine Lord Dream Void. The heavenly human tribe's divine general continued. What? Divine Lord? He's a divine lord. Heavens, aren't we courting death by hunting down a divine lord? Before the heavenly human tribe's divine general could say anything, someone shouted in shock. Even if the others didn't say anything, they still inhaled sharply. They looked shocked. The traitor this time was actually a divine master. Moreover, if they were to hunt down a divine lord, would they not be courting death? They were only god emperors. No matter how many of them there were, they would still die if they faced a divine lord. What's the rush? Do you think we don't know how powerful a divine lord is? Isn't it a joke to ask you to hunt down a divine lord? The heavenly human tribe's divine general shouted coldly. The others calmed down. Indeed, it was impossible for the heavenly palace to allow them to pursue and kill divine masters, because it would be completely useless, other than sending them to their deaths. Even among Divine Lord experts, Divine Lord Dream Void is an extremely powerful existence. However, we don't have to worry about that. Divine Lord Dream Void will naturally have a corresponding expert to deal with him. Our target is Divine Lord Dream Void's disciples. Although Divine Lord Dream Void's disciples don't have very high cultivation bases, they're all extremely talented. We can't let them go. Do you understand? The heavenly human tribe's divine general said. Understood. The others replied and sighed in relief. If it was just Divine Lord Dream Void's disciples, it was still fine. This time, we're not the only ones hunting down Divine Lord Dream Void. There are others as well. We're mainly going to surround some routes and not let them escape. Divine Lord Dream Void has brought a few disciples and is heading toward the Burning Heart Star Zone. We'll depart immediately and head there. The heavenly human tribe's divine general said. Understood. The others replied. Chapter 4186. The Burning Heart Star Zone was an extremely high-level star zone. It was vast and boundless, more than 100 times larger than the Iron Sea Star Zone. During this time, all the wormholes in the Burning Heart Star Zone had been sealed off by the experts of the Heavenly Palace. Lu Ming and the others spread out in the Burning Heart Star Zone, each team guarding a direction and slowly encircling the core area. As soon as God Lord Dream Void and her disciples appeared, they would charge forward and annihilate them. At this moment, in the northern region of the Burning Heart Star Zone, several figures were rapidly flying. There were 4 of them, all of them women. One of them was a middle-aged woman, and the other 3 were young women. If Lu Ming were here, he would definitely be stunned. This was because one of the 3 young women was none other than Chiao Autumn Moon. Chiao Autumn Moon was one of God Lord Dream Void's disciples. The middle-aged woman was none other than God Lord Dream Void. God Lord Dream Void was extremely powerful. She used a beam of energy to carry her 3 disciples through the void at a speed faster than teleportation. Countless planets were left behind. However, God Lord Dream Void's expression was still grave. She knew that her whereabouts had been exposed, and the Heavenly Palace would definitely send a large number of experts to kill them. Whether or not they could escape was another matter. My 3 disciples, I've implicated all of you this time. God Lord Dream Void sighed as she flew. No, Master, what are you saying? Master's will is our will. If not for Master, I would have died long ago. Senior sister is right. Since the Heavenly Palace is so despicable, we naturally don't need to serve them. It's normal for us to leave. We will definitely support Master. Chiao Autumn Moon and the other 2 nodded repeatedly, expressing their support for God Lord Dream Void. Good disciple. However, the danger this time is unpredictable. If you encounter any mishap, try your best to escape. Don't worry about me. Especially you, Chiao. You have a very important mission. Nothing must happen to you. You must be able to rush to that place. You must hurry. Master? Autumn Moon's eyes were slightly red. To be honest, when God Lord Dream Void forcefully brought Autumn Moon to the Heavenly Palace, Autumn Moon was disgusted and unwilling. Especially after she asked around and learned that Lu Ming was trapped on the Dragon Clan's home planet. She wanted to go to the Dragon Clan's mother planet to look for Lu Ming many times, but she was stopped by God Lord Dream Void. However, apart from this, God Lord Dream Void was indeed very good to her. He treated her like his own daughter and taught her everything he knew. He also gave her all kinds of treasures and resources. As time passed, Chiao Yu's resentment towards God Lord Dream Void naturally dissipated. After all, the human heart was made of flesh. You betrayed the Heavenly Palace and still want to escape? How naive. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. Then the void shattered. A long spear pierced through the void and pierced towards Divine Lord Dream Void. Terrifying, incomparably terrifying. When the spear pierced out, it was as if it had pierced a hole in the entire universe. Around it, stars were annihilated one after another. Even a few stars were extinguished directly. This was the attack of a God Lord. It had the power to destroy the world. Divine Lord Dream Void's expression changed. Her body emitted a rainbow-colored light. Then she pointed a finger. A rainbow-colored finger force burst out and collided with the long spear. Boom! It was as if the universe had exploded. A large area of the starry sky turned into chaos. Countless stars were annihilated under the terrifying force. Terrifying, incomparably terrifying. Fortunately, the nearby planets were not inhabited by life. Otherwise, that move just now would have annihilated countless living beings. Buzz. The long spear kept vibrating. It flew back and was caught by a large golden hand. Then, a burly figure stepped out of the void. He held a long spear in his hand. His golden hair fluttered in the wind. His terrifying aura made large areas of the starry sky tremble. On the other side, Divine Lord Dream Void's body swayed. At the same time, she used a rainbow-colored light to protect Chiao Yu and the other 2. If it were not for Divine Lord Dream Void's protection, the 3 of them would have died under the terrifying force. Yi Shen, Lord of Heaven, you came personally. Divine Lord Dream Void's expression changed when she saw the person in front of her. Her cold voice was filled with seriousness. Yi Shen, Lord of Heaven. Even among God Lords, he was very powerful. He was not weaker than her. Dream Void, why did you betray the Heavenly Palace? Did the Heavenly Palace mistreat you? Yi Shen, Lord of Heaven, said coldly. His battle intent was wild. A terrifying aura spread out, causing the stars in the starry sky to tremble. Yi Shen, you should know better than anyone what the Heavenly Palace has done. You should know better than anyone what the Heavenly Palace treats the various races of the universe. Do you think I should continue to stay in the Heavenly Palace? Divine Lord Dream Void asked coldly. Yi Shen, Lord of Heaven's face darkened. It seems like you know a lot. If that's the case, I can't let you live. Dream Void, hand over the Master God's heart and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you should know what the Heavenly Palace is capable of. If you want to fight, then let's fight. You want the Master God's heart? Impossible. Divine Lord Dream Void said coldly. As soon as she finished speaking, She took the initiative to step forward. The rainbow-colored light on her body became even more intense. Moreover, 3 of the lights were the most intense. They were thousands of times brighter than the sun. Dream Void Divine Finger. Divine Lord Dream Void said softly. She pointed a finger. A finger filled with rainbow-colored light formed. It was huge, even bigger than when it was formed. It crushed toward Yi Xin, Lord of Heaven. Wherever it passed, the void turned into chaos. Everything was turned into nothingness. Divine lords were just too powerful. They were almost at the peak of the universe. Moreover, Divine Lord Dream Void was no ordinary Divine Lord. You're courting death, Yi Xin, Lord of Heaven said coldly. His body was shrouded by the terrifying power of the heavens. His spear was like a saber as it slashed down. The spear expanded rapidly. It traversed through the universe and collided with the rainbow-colored finger. Boom! There was an even more terrifying explosion. The void was completely annihilated. Nothing was left. Divine Lord Dream Void and Yi Xin, Lord of Heaven's bodies shook at the same time. Then they started fighting again. At the same time, a force enveloped Qiu Yu and the other 2. With a toss, the 3 of them appeared billions of miles away. Let's go. Go to that place. Send the Master God's heart there. Divine Lord Dream Void's voice rang in the ears of Qiu Yu and the other 2. Master! Qiu Yu and the other 2 exclaimed. Their eyes were filled with tears and worry. Let's go. I'll be fine. You guys stay. I still have to take care of you. Let's go. This is my order. Divine Lord Dream Void shouted. Master, take care. You have to stay alive. Qiu Yu and the other 2 gritted their teeth and turned to leave. They also understood that if they stayed, they would be a burden to Divine Lord Dream Void. They would not be of any help. Chapter 4187. Godly Lord Dream Void and Yi Xin, the Lord of Heaven, were fighting fiercely. Qiu Yu and the other 2 continued flying as fast as they could. At the same time, Lu Ming and the others also received the news. The traitor has appeared. Godly Lord Dream Void has been stopped by Yi Xin, the Lord of Heaven. Only her 3 disciples are left. Let's go. It's time for us to make a contribution, said the Divine General of Lu Ming's group. His eyes were shining brightly. That Divine General was one of the 2 Divine Generals of the Celestial Human clan that Lu Ming had seen before. He was extremely strong. Nobody doubted him. They followed the Divine General of the Celestial Human clan into a wormhole. A moment later, they appeared in a strange starry sky and quickly flew in a certain direction. They were all great supreme gods, so they were extremely fast. They were even faster than some short-distance teleportation portals. Normally, great supreme gods would carve short-distance teleportation portals on their bodies. They could activate the portals on their bodies to teleport a single person. However, when one reached the God Emperor realm, such a short-distance teleportation array carved on one's body would no longer be of much use. This was because God Emperor realm existences could break through the void and travel through space at full speed. Their speed was much faster than activating the short-distance teleportation array on their bodies. Not to mention, activating the teleportation portals on their bodies took time. They continued to move forward, leaving a large number of stars behind them. They crossed one galaxy after another. Boom, boom. Suddenly, explosions sounded in front of them. Beams of light flashed and collided with each other. It was like a star had exploded, illuminating the sky. Even from far away, they could see it. We're here. Godly Lord Dream Void's disciples have been stopped. Let's kill them. Remember, they might have the Heavenly Palace's treasures. If we can get them, it'll be a great contribution. Celestial Clan's Divine General said, revealing an excited expression. He flew with all of his strength, his speed even faster, flying in that direction. The others also sped up. 4th Great Supreme God Layer. Lu Ming was surprised. He could see that the Divine General of the Celestial Human clan had the strength of the 4th Great Supreme God Layer. Usually, ordinary godly generals had the strength of the 3rd Great Supreme God Layer. That guy had the strength of the 4th Great Supreme God Layer, so he was an extremely strong cultivator. As for the other celestial soldiers, they had the strength of the first or second great supreme god layer. None of them had the strength of the third great supreme god layer. Lu Ming measured his combat strength. He was considered the strongest in this team. If he used his full strength, he wouldn't even be afraid of the immortal general of the heavenly human tribe. This thought only flashed through Lu Ming's mind. Soon, they approached the battlefield. They could already see the figures in the battle through the collision of the multicolored light. On the periphery was a group of heavenly soldiers and divine generals, numbering about 30. Lu Ming estimated that there should be 3 teams, 3 divine generals leading 36 first-class heavenly soldier. It was 3 young women who were besieged by the celestial soldiers and divine generals. When he saw one of the women, Lu Ming was shocked. Autumn Moon. Lu Ming almost cried out in surprise. Fortunately, he managed to hold it in. He had never thought that he would meet Autumn Moon here. He had never thought that Autumn Moon would be one of the people he wanted to kill. What a shitty mission. At this moment, Lu Ming directly forgot about the Heavenly Palace mission. He only had one thought in his mind, and that was to save Autumn Moon. Calm down. Lu Ming took a deep breath to calm himself down and analyze the situation. The 3 teams besieging Autumn Moon were very strong. 3 divine generals, 2 of them had the strength of the 3rd great supreme god layer, and the other one had the strength of the 4th great supreme god layer. There were 36 first-class heavenly soldiers, all of whom had the strength of the 1st or 2nd great supreme god layer. They were all wearing first-class heavenly soldier armor, which could block a full-strength attack from a cultivator of the 3rd great supreme god layer. Their defense was strong enough, so they only needed to attack crazily. That way, they would be a great threat. Lu Ming looked at Autumn Moon and the other 2. To be honest, Lu Ming was also surprised by Autumn Moon and the other 2's cultivation. Because Autumn Moon and the other 2's cultivation had reached the great supreme god layer. They were all in the 1st great supreme god layer. After a few hundred years, Autumn Moon's cultivation had increased so much. She had already reached the great supreme god layer. But on second thought, it was normal. After all, Autumn Moon was the disciple of the great Lord Dream Void in the Heavenly Palace. Previously, he had heard from the heavenly human tribe that the great Lord Dream Void was very strong even in the great supreme god layer. Although she was not from the heavenly human tribe, she had a lot of power in the Heavenly Palace. Under the guidance of such a person, and with the vast resources of the Heavenly Palace, it would be hard for her not to improve. Most importantly, Autumn Moon's talent was not to be underestimated. She had the 9 orifices sacred heart. Lu Ming was not a newbie who had just arrived in the primitive universe. He had looked for clues about the 9 orifices sacred heart. Although there were not many clues and there was no detailed explanation, he could infer from the few words that the 9 orifices sacred heart was a rare talent. It was rare in the history of the universe. It had unlimited potential and was unfathomable. Moreover, it was extremely strong. That was the truth. At this moment, Autumn Moon and the other 2 were surrounded by dozens of strong cultivators. If it weren't for Autumn Moon, the 3 of them would have been defeated. Qiu Yu was enveloped by the 9-colored light. Every move she made was filled with immense power. She was holding a machete, which was emitting terrifying energy waves. When she slashed, a 9-colored machete light was released. It cut the space and broke the starry sky. She was fighting against the divine general of the 4th great supreme god layer. At this moment, she was not at a disadvantage. Such fighting strength. To be honest, even Lu Ming was amazed by Autumn Moon's fighting strength. Without a doubt, the machete in Autumn Moon's hand was a great weapon. However, even if she had a great weapon, it was still incredible for a cultivator of the 1st great supreme god layer to fight against a cultivator of the 4th great supreme god layer. Lu Ming knew the difference between the 1st great supreme god layer and the 4th great supreme god layer. The 3 levels of the great supreme god layer were equivalent to the 9 levels of the godly emperor layer. In other words, Autumn Moon had relied on a great weapon to fight against a cultivator who was 9 levels higher than her. She was not much weaker than Lu Ming. The 9 orifices sacred heart was indeed extraordinary. Autumn Moon blocked the cultivator of the fourth great supreme god layer. The other two women joined hands to block the other's attacks. Without a doubt, the two women were peerless geniuses. They were extremely talented. They were not any weaker than the candidates of the universe young geniuses list. They also controlled great weapons to block the attacks of the other strong cultivators. It had to be said that there were too many geniuses in the heavenly palace. Not to mention the heavenly human tribe, even the core disciples of the heavenly palace had many geniuses. Luckily, the core disciples of the heavenly human tribe and the heavenly palace didn't participate in the universe young geniuses list. Otherwise, there would be a great change in the rankings. Chapter 4188. However, even though the three of them managed to block the attacks of the heavenly soldiers and divine generals, it was almost impossible for them to escape. This was because divine generals had armor at the divine general level, and first-class celestial soldiers had armor at the first-class celestial soldier level. Their defensive power was too strong. They blocked all directions like turtles. With their strong defensive power, they blocked all escape routes. They wanted to surround Autumn Moon and the others and wait for reinforcements from the heavenly palace. In that case, Autumn Moon and the others would die. Lu Ming and the others arrived. On the other side, the three of them, as well as the heavenly soldiers and divine generals, also noticed Lu Ming and the others. Their feelings were completely opposite. Qiu Yu and the other two had ugly expressions as their hearts sank. If this continued, it would be very disadvantageous for them. The heavenly soldiers and divine generals were overjoyed. "Come over and kill them!" One of the divine generals shouted. "Kill them! Don't let any of them go!" The heavenly human divine general who led them shouted and rushed toward the battlefield. Lu Ming and the others followed closely behind. Lu Ming remained calm and collected. He sped up silently and approached the heavenly human race god general, waiting for an opportunity. Soon, they were close to the battlefield. "Kill!" The heavenly human divine general shouted and a saber appeared in his hand. He injected powerful energy into the saber and was about to slash at Autumn Moon. At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The time had come. The Bingxian rod appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The forbidden energy poured into the Bingxian rod, and then he swung it at the heavenly human divine general. To catch bandits, one had to catch the leader first. Naturally, one had to attack the strongest person. The most important thing was to kill the heavenly human divine general. The other first-class heavenly soldiers were nothing to be afraid of. It happened so suddenly that the other first-class heavenly soldiers were stunned. They never thought that Lu Ming would suddenly attack the heavenly human divine general. Even the divine general of the celestial tribe himself was completely stunned. This scene was beyond his expectations. He wanted to block or dodge, but it was already too late. Boom! The mysterious ice staff crashed toward the heavenly human tribe divine general's head with terrifying power. The terrifying power caused the heavenly human tribe divine general's expression to change drastically, revealing a look of horror. However, just as the Bingxian staff was about to hit the celestial general's battle armor emitted a dazzling glow. A light shield emerged and blocked the Bingxian staff. With a boom, the celestial race's divine general was sent flying like a meteor into the distance. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his face was pale. Although his battle suit had blocked the attack of the mysterious ice rod at the critical moment, his divine body was still injured by the powerful force. It can actually protect itself. Lu Ming frowned. This scene was beyond his expectations. With such a good opportunity, Lu Ming suddenly attacked. He thought that he would be able to deal with this heavenly human race divine general. Who would have thought that the other party's armor would be able to protect him on its own? The first-rate heavenly soldier armor on his body did not have this function. Could it be because of the divine general's armor? Or because the other party was from the heavenly human tribe and his armor had been specially refined? "Kid, you're courting death. You're courting death." At this moment, the heavenly human tribe divine general finally reacted and let out a hysterical roar. He was furious, extremely furious. He was filled with anger and killing intent toward Lu Ming. Just now, he had almost been killed and felt the threat of death. He had never experienced such a feeling before. At that moment, he was shrouded in endless fear. Therefore, he wanted Lu Ming to pay 1,000 times the price. Although he did not know why Lu Ming attacked him, it did not matter. As long as he attacked him, he would have to pay the price. Kill. The heavenly human tribe divine general roared. His battle saber rapidly enlarged and his body moved, charging toward Lu Ming. The saber light broke through the space and slashed toward Lu Ming, wanting to cut Lu Ming in half. Come on. Lu Ming was not afraid at all. His powerful taboo force continuously surged into the Bingxian rod, and he struck it out. The two huge weapons collided in the air, creating a deafening explosion. Then, Lu Ming's body shook and he could not help but retreat. Lu Ming was no match for the heavenly human tribe divine general. The heavenly human tribe is really strong. A thought emerged in Lu Ming's mind. With Lu Ming's current fighting strength, he could definitely fight against a cultivator of the fourth great supreme god layer after using the mysterious ice rod. However, the fourth great supreme god layer naturally referred to the ordinary cultivators of the fourth great supreme god layer, not the monstrous geniuses. The heavenly human tribe was too talented. Even the ordinary heavenly human tribe members were geniuses compared to the other tribes in the universe. The heavenly human tribe members were usually stronger when fighting against cultivators of the same level. The heavenly human tribe divine general with the strength of the fourth great supreme god layer was stronger than the ordinary cultivators of the fourth great supreme god layer. It was normal that Lu Ming was not his match. But Lu Ming was pushed back. A first-class celestial soldier behind him attacked Lu Ming with his axe. He wanted to attack Lu Ming by surprise and curry favor with the heavenly human tribe divine general. Even though he did not know why Lu Ming had suddenly attacked the heavenly human tribe divine general, it was always good to curry favor with the heavenly human tribe. That first-class celestial soldier had the strength of the second great supreme god layer. He was very strong. However, compared to Lu Ming, there was still a big gap between him and Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He did not turn his head. His back lit up and a beam of light shot out. It was the Great Aurora technique. All kinds of secret techniques were distributed in Lu Ming's body. He could attack from any part of his body. The Great Aurora technique was like a divine blade. It struck the heavenly human tribe divine general's axe. With a loud bang, the heavenly human tribe divine general's axe was sent flying. The Aurora technique did not stop. It continued to attack the heavenly human tribe divine general. Oh no, block it for me. The heavenly human tribe divine general turned pale with fright. He had not expected that Lu Ming would still be able to use such a powerful attack after being pushed back. He was no match for Lu Ming at all. At the critical moment, he could only use his armor to block the attack. The Great Aurora technique bombarded the heavenly human tribe divine general's armor and sent the heavenly human tribe divine general flying. The heavenly human tribe divine general's armor dimmed. The heavenly human tribe divine general's eyes were filled with fear. If it was not for the heavenly human tribe divine general's armor, he would have been killed. Lu Ming retreated a distance and steadied himself. At this moment, the people on Autumn Moon's side also came to their senses. The three people on Autumn Moon's side were very curious. They did not understand why the heavenly human tribe divine general's side would suddenly have a conflict. Lu Ming was in his current body. Of course, the three people on Autumn Moon's side did not recognize Lu Ming. Traitor! The heavenly human tribe divine general who was besieging the three people on Autumn Moon's side were furious. Lu Ming's action was clearly a betrayal of the heavenly palace. Let's attack together and kill this traitor. The heavenly human tribe divine general who was sneak attacked by Lu Ming roared and once again charged at Lu Ming with his saber. Cold, murderous intent flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He held the Bingxian staff and charged forward. With a loud bang, Lu Ming retreated again. Chiu Chiu kill. The moment Lu Ming retreated, Lu Ming's wrist shook and Chiu Chiu flew out. Book Guest House Reading Website. Chapter 4189. After exchanging a blow with the heavenly human race's god general, Lu Ming released Qiu the moment he retreated. As soon as Qiu flew out, it turned into a black spear and stabbed at the heavenly human divine general. It still stabbed at the heavenly human divine general's armor. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion. The celestial race's divine general was blown away. His armor shook, but unfortunately, it wasn't broken. The divine general's armor was too strong. It was much stronger than a first-class celestial soldier's armor. A first-class celestial soldier's armor could block a full-strength attack from a cultivator of the third great supreme god layer, while a divine general's armor could block a full-strength attack from a cultivator of the sixth great supreme god layer. Even though Qiu's attack was strong, it was much weaker than a cultivator of the sixth great supreme god layer. What a strong defense. It's like a turtle shell. Son of a turtle, I'm coming. Take one attack, two attacks, da-da-da. Qiu shouted and charged at the celestial race's divine general. He turned into a black spear and attacked the celestial race's divine general. You're courting death, shouted the celestial race's divine general furiously. He had been blown away. He was furious. His eyes turned red. He wanted to cut Qiu into pieces. He used his full strength to attack Qiu. He waved his saber and attacked Qiu. The saber and the spear collided. There was a loud explosion. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 attacks. In the end, the celestial race's divine general was suppressed and kept retreating. How is this possible? This is impossible, shouted the celestial race's divine general. His cultivation level was one level higher than Qiu's, but he was suppressed. He wasn't from an ordinary race. He was from the celestial race. There weren't many celestial race members, but they were extremely talented. Even the most ordinary celestial race members would be considered geniuses in the universe. However, Qiu was able to suppress him. How was that possible? However, the truth was cruel. He was suppressed by Qiu. Qiu's ability to fight against cultivators of a higher level has improved. Lu Ming was relieved to see Qiu's strength. He was overjoyed too. If the difference between each level of the Great Supreme God layer was measured by the Divine Emperor layer, one needed to be able to fight against cultivators of a higher level. The celestial race's divine general was extremely strong. Qiu could still suppress him. Lu Ming estimated that Qiu could fight against cultivators of at least 6 levels of the Divine Emperor layer. Qiu's was at most 4.5 levels. This time, he had refined quite a few precious damage divine weapons. In particular, there were a few damage divine weapons worth 1,000,000 merit points, which were of great help to Qiu. Then, Tian's Qiu's Xian Bing. Qiu's. Lu Ming used his full strength to activate the mysterious ice rod. His fighting strength had the strength of the 4th great supreme god layer. Those first-class celestial soldiers couldn't resist him. They were all blown away. Their first-class celestial armors dimmed down as they were badly injured. Brat, Mu Yun, you're digging your own grave. How dare you betray the Heavenly Palace? When the other experts from the Heavenly Palace arrive, you'll be dead. The divine general of the Heavenly Human Clan roared. Really? Qiu, force him to the battlefield over there. Lu Ming sneered and then transmitted his voice to Qiu. Alright. Qiu replied loudly. Its attacks became even more ferocious, causing the heavenly human tribe divine generals to continuously retreat toward the battlefield on the autumn moon side. Mu Yun, I have the divine general armor. You can't do anything to me. As long as I can stall you, you will die. The divine general of the heavenly human clan roared. He fought back with all his might. He didn't want to win. He only wanted to stall Lu Ming and the others. However, he wasn't Qiu's match. He kept retreating. Soon, he was close to the battlefield on the autumn moon's side. Do you think that you can stall us with the divine general armor? You've probably forgotten that the Heavenly Palace has a treasure called the Forbidden Weapon Arius Seal. Lu Ming sneered. A jade talisman appeared in his hand. It was the Forbidden Weapon Arius Seal. When Lu Ming was at the Merit Exchange Hall in the Heavenly Palace, he had exchanged for a few Forbidden Soldier Domain talismans. Initially, he had thought that he would not need them and had only kept them for emergencies. Unexpectedly, he could use them so soon. It was the perfect time to use the Forbidden Weapon Area Seal. It's the Forbidden Weapon Area Seal. The Divine General of the Heavenly Human Clan was shocked when he saw the Forbidden Weapon Area Seal in Lu Ming's hand. With a loud bang, Lu Ming crushed the seal of the Restricted Soldier Realm. The Restricted Soldier Realm spread out rapidly, shrouding not only the Heavenly Human Tribe's Divine Generals, but also Qiu Yu and the rest, as well as the Heavenly Soldiers and Divine Generals who besieged Qiu Yu. After being enveloped by the Forbidden Weapon Area, the divine weapons in the hands of the Divine General of the Heavenly Human Clan and the armor on his body quickly lost their luster. They couldn't be used anymore and automatically hid themselves. The armor and weapons of the Heavenly Soldiers who were attacking Autumn Moon and the others couldn't be used either. Of course, there was also a problem. The ultimate weapons in the hands of Autumn Moon and the other two couldn't be used either. Qiu kill. The moment Lu Ming crushed the Forbidden Weapon Area Seal, Lu Ming shouted and dashed out like a bolt of lightning. He didn't charge towards the Divine General of the Heavenly Human Clan, but towards the Heavenly Soldiers who were attacking Autumn Moon and the others. Lu Ming's body was covered in a dazzling light. He was using all his strength. In the process of rushing out, his figure suddenly disappeared from the spot. It was the greater teleportation technique. When he reappeared, he was already around Autumn Moon and the others. Boom boom, Lu Ming attacked with all his strength. His fists were like mountains as they bombarded the Heavenly Soldiers and Divine Generals. Without the protection of their armor, the first-grade Heavenly Soldiers couldn't block Lu Ming's attacks. Even without his ultimate weapon, Lu Ming's fighting strength was almost comparable to the third great Supreme God layer. His attacks were extremely powerful. 4 or 5 first-grade Heavenly Soldiers didn't even have time to scream before their bodies exploded. They died on the spot. On the other hand, a few fists were aimed at 2 of the third great Supreme God layer Divine Generals, blocking their attacks. As for the 4th great Supreme God layer Divine General, Lu Ming didn't attack him. He would leave that one to Qiu. Qiu's fighting strength came from his own body. He didn't rely on external forces. The moment Lu Ming attacked, Qiu attacked as well. His body rapidly changed again, turning into a long sword. Lu Ming had exchanged a few broken weapons worth 1,000,000 merit points last time. One of them was a broken sword. After turning into a long sword, the sword slightly trembled and then disappeared. It wasn't the greater teleportation technique, but a phenomenon caused by moving too fast. This time, Qiu didn't attack the Heavenly Human Clan's Divine General, but another 4th great Supreme God layer Divine General, the one who had attacked Autumn Moon at the beginning. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.